Well, fancy meeting you here on the YouTube channel. Welcome to the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. I'm your host, Dan, aka Smash-O-Mash, and we are doing the daily space weather. Once again, we saw a brief geomagnetic storm period as there was a strong negative BZ component associated with the magnetic field from a big old cloud of plasma. We missed that one, and it happens occasionally. In any case, we've got about 5 named sunspot groups here. Or we will have about 5 named sunspot groups shortly. Let's take a look at Earth's geospace, since there is a geomagnetic storm just subsiding as we record the video. So here's Earth's magnetic moment from space. You can see quite a bit of perturbation happening here in the magnetosphere. That's the last 4 hours of magnetohydrodynamic pressure. It's our geospace magnetosphere movie. We show it daily on the daily space weather videos for the past 5+ years. Here's Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. Now that we've showed Earth's magnetic moment from space, these are the most likely places over the last 4 hours to have seen aurorae, where you see the dark red areas. Those are also the areas of highest induction into power lines, railways, pipelines, etc. So quite a bit of magnetic perturbations happening here at the surface level. We'll let that play all the way through once again, since it's some pretty interesting data today due to the subsiding of that geomagnetic storm. We reached all the way up to KP5 there, but only for a brief period of about 3 hours. We'll show you all the data about that momentarily. So that's the last 4 hours of Earth's magnetic moment from the ground. If you're wondering what nanotesla are, that is a measurement of magnetic flux density. KP index now still unsettled here. KP4 is the current situation. For you new viewers, KP index is a reference to the overall global geomagnetism. And let's move to the real-time solar wind here. And so you can see this CME strike happening right around this time. Solar wind speed never really changed. It was a low-speed coronal mass ejection strike, and it was accompanied by this strong negative BZ component. You can see this signal here slowly subsiding, moving up toward the 0 line. That's the vertical component of the magnetic field. And when we see a strong negative BZ, that induces lots of currents, and that creates geomagnetic unrest and storm conditions. So again, we see this subsiding now. That looks like it may be the end of the cloud of plasma, but there's a giant cloud of plasma currently interacting with the Earth geospace. So again, it looks like it's subsiding to me. But there are estimates that this could last as long as another probably, 12 more hours. So we'll just have to keep looking at the data here. But that's what's going on at Lagrange point 1. Lagrange 1 located about 1 million miles between the Earth and Sun. That's where the solar wind measurements happen from the ACE and Discover. Current conditions are about 6.3 protons per cubic centimeter, 327 kilometers per second for the solar wind speed. So you can see it's a great example of how just a minor shift in the density. The density did make it up to about 40 protons per cubic centimeter there for a brief moment. That is your CME strike. That strong negative BZ component associated with its magnetic field is what primarily induced the currents. So here's a great signature of a bunch of stellar plasma showing up. Now you can see all of this spiky sort of readings happening here on the GOES magnetometer in this area. It's a great example of your coronal mass ejection strike, measured by the GOES 16 and GOES 17. So here is the heliospheric current sheet. And will the North Pole current sheet come through? It looks like it may. We've got a bit of activity in the southern hemisphere on the eastern portion of the sun, so depending on what happens with that sunspot in the northeast, there may be a delay of the arrival of that North Pole current sheet. So here is the line of sight field plot. Sun's B field shown here in blue. Just fantastic imagery there from the ground-based and space-based data there from the Gong 2. If you're wondering where this data comes from, by the way, it comes from 51 ground-based magnetometers the National Sunspot Observatory, and magnetometers on stereo A and on stereo B. Once again, there's your line of sight plot. We'll move to coronal holes next. We've got some very well-defined ones in the earthly zone. We showed some great imagery of it on our Twitch stream. Here it is on the Gong 2 data, the Global Oscillation Network. We've got some North Pole coronal holes rotating in. One of them is very well defined. So here it is in 193 angstroms. That very well defined coronal hole. We can expect a high speed wind from that in about 3 days or so. That is a very well defined coronal hole. One of the best we've seen in quite a while. Next, moving to sunspots. Here's your flare probability monitor and your detected groups. So this one in the northeast has been known as 3046. It's just an alpha class sunspot. It's unlikely to produce any major flares. But these groups in the southern hemisphere are a little more magnetically complex. So flares more likely coming from the southern hemisphere than the north. Here's our 1700 angstroms SDO imagery. And after you've looked at the time and date stamps, we'll zoom in. That's yesterday and today. And there's a close-up. 1700 angstroms is great at showing well-defined sunspots. And let's continue on to invite you to smashamash.com/smashed, and we put up a bunch of free music depending on what your membership level is. So just to give you a demonstration of membership levels here, we have a gold and silver we have a gold and silver membership level. There's also a gold annual paid-up subscription level. And we put up some tracks here. New Riff is only for gold and paid-up gold subscribers. Unified Theory is for silver, gold, and paid-up subscribers. Stacker Do is only for bronze, silver, gold, and paid-up subscribers, meaning you have to log in, but you don't have to pay for it. And Temple Strike, well, you can listen to Temple Strike without even logging in. At smashamash.com/smashteam, you click posts, you'll see all of our latest videos. We even put up Tamitha Scove's latest newsletter. Shout out to Tamitha. We also regularly stream live to Twitch. We've already done it once today at the Smash News Network, least busted name of news, because it's such a good live streaming platform. So check us out over there. Their mobile app will actually inform you when we've gone live. As at the Smash News Network, we've noticed that certain live streaming platforms are a little better than others. Also, if you've never checked out the Redbubble shop, check it out. Links below the video to that. There are our top sellers. Do Not Pole Vault the Caldera has upended Mensa, allegedly, as our top seller. Thanks to everybody who's picked up merch. And we've got thousands of videos on YouTube. We don't only make videos about space weather. There's one about our trained attack goldfish. And check out our thumbnails. Are those some sweet thumbnails or what? Once again, shout out to Smash staff. She's also our aquarist. Did you know that Smash staff is actually our aquarist? And she does a fine job maintaining our attack goldfish. Smashamash.com is our homepage. We built it in response to pathetic censorship on Facebook back in 2019. And I would note the way Facebook's share price has performed since then. Dear Facebook, maybe if you learned to code, people would actually plug back into your pathetic junkware. Anyway, you can find all kinds of links. We're all over the internet. There's even a permanent invite link to our Discord chat. So hit us up over there if you like. If you want to send us an instant message, you can find us on Discord via that link. Welcome to the Neo Renaissance. Let's get to some more Gong 2 data. Here's the El Teide, Spain magnetogram. Some up-to-date data for you. That is pretty current indeed. So here's your X-ray flux over the past 3 days, and it's been underperforming a bit. Likelihood of flares is there. There are several beta-class sunspot groups. No relativistic proton spikes here on the GOES proton flux. Let's take a look at flaring in 131. Spectacular imagery here from the SDO. And we'll zoom out so you can see the timestamps. Again, it's yesterday, July 1st, and today, July 2nd, so far. Again, things have been quiet in the realm of solar flaring. And as we regularly wonder what's going on overhead, here is your star chart. And at the moment over Lehigh Valley, we've got Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, and Mercury, all ahead of the sun there on the ecliptic. That's the yellow line, the path the sun will take across the sky here in Lehigh Valley, PA. And here is the view from a heliocentric perspective of the solar system. How about a 1 week forecast? We've got a lovely crescent waxing moon at the moment. Here's where things will be in a week. We'll have a gibbous waxing by the 9th as Mercury and Venus speed away. Here's your coronagraph over the past about 10 hours. It looks like about 5 hours. And we'll show you yesterday also. So here's yesterday's coronagraph. And once again, there is today. Things are pretty chill there. No apparent Earth-directed CMEs. Let's take a look at the view from Stereo A just to get the full perspective. Again, Stereo A, if you've never seen the channel before, Stereo A is located here at Lagrange 5. And the Soho Lasco C3 depicted on the right is located at Lagrange 1, right here between the Earth and Sun. Some minor ejection happening there. Some of that could be somewhat earthly directed. A little bit tough to tell. If so, it would not be a major strike. Kind of looks like it's mostly off to the west to me. Let us know in the comments what you think. And we're going to close out with some moving pictures. It's the last about 3 hours of GOES 16 SUVI imagery in 304 angstroms, ionized helium. And when we do see coronal mass ejections, they usually show up pretty spectacularly on this imagery because of the wide field of view. How about one more? It's the house favorite, 171 angstroms. And thanks for tuning into the Smash News Network, least busted name in news. Congratulations on realizing the channel exists. Have a lovely holiday weekend, and may that solar wind be at your back.